Good morning. Uh, this is Shop Talk Friday. What I'm thinking about doing, we'll just recap the week. Had a pretty good week. Hope y'all did. But I am Buck. This is Sawdust Solutions, and welcome to my shop. What we've been working on, let me just take you around and show you. I built a kind of dark on that side, but anyway, it's a prairie box, a memory box. It's oak and African Badook. Cherry inlay right there and the cherry bottom, but the light color is oak, African Badook. Turned out quite well, I believe. Make a nice gift for somebody. Got my dry sink. Still waiting on stuff. But we've been having rain out the yin yang. Finally had a dry day Tuesday and went and got lumber. That's going to be my hand tool workbench. I don't know if y'all notice when I'm hand planing and all, these things are built so light. It's just not ideal. I've been managing, but well, I plan on building me a workbench. There was something that came up while I was making this box. This dado right here, I'm going to simulate that right here, because what I had was a gauge, a piece of wood, the exact thickness of my saw kerf. And when you're doing dados, half laps, stuff like that, where you need to take out your the saw kerf, that's where this comes into play. So I lost mine. I could not figure out where it was at. And now I don't know what happened to it, but I just used field gauge to get the job because I already had my saw set up for the action. You know, the depth of the blade and all that comes into play. So what I was wanting to do here is show y'all how to come up with one of them little gauges that represents the saw kerf. So let me get y'all in here where you can see, and I'll show this to you. So what I need to do to make this happen is I need to run this through, taking off some material. So this will be the exact distance that this gap is. So that'll make more sense here in just a minute, because we're going to actually take this piece and cut our gauge with. All right, right now we know that is the perfect distance right there from the fence to the inside of the gauge. So anything left, it will be saw blade. For instance, if we put this right next to this thing, what's going to happen, it's going to cut a saw kerf into the second piece. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, this distance right here is the saw kerf. So what we need to do now, we'll flip this thing over, hook it right here, then whatever cuts off is the width of the blade. So let's try that. So what you're left with is the kerf of the blade. Now let me get set up, and what we're going to do, we're going to simulate in this piece of here a dado that will take this right here, and I'll show you where this comes into play. So what you want to do here, I'm going to go ahead and cut this thing down to where it's time you put that all up in it, it's just a safety thing. Besides that, it's going to be something I'm going to keep, so I'm going to cut it down, and I'll take my piece of pan paper and make sure there's no frays or any debris, because that'll throw you off bad. So I'm going to take my bench hook here and I'm going to cut this thing down. So actually I got two of them here. But you see the debris, you want to make sure that ain't there, because the daggum debris will haunt you. It'll give you a false reading where you get in there and get trapped in there. So yeah, you wanna make sure it ain't no debris. Well, all right, let's go back to the table saw and I'll show you how this comes into play. So we're going to simulate, we want a dado in this piece to where this will just slide up in there. So if you come over here, find out where you want the dado, you line it up with your saw kerf, set you in a stop block. All right, and what you do here, this is going to be the material that goes in the dado, because it's got the width that you're looking for. So you set it right here, and you put you another stop block right here. All right, this is going to fit in the dado just like that right there, right? But if you cut it here, then slit it here, you're one blade width too far. In other words, it'll be extremely loose. That's where the gauge comes from for the saw kerf. It needs to set right here to limit it. You're taking out the saw kerf is what you're doing. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and cut the dado. So I like just a snug fit. Just enough where it won't fall out. Because the way this wood glue is, it's got to be touching. It won't fill the gap up for you. So, but you don't want it so tight that, because as soon as the glue hits it, the moisture in the glue makes the wood swell up for you. If you ain't careful, it will you get where it won't fit at all. But I want just enough fit where it'll hang up in there, and that gives it to you. So there's where the gauge for the saw kerf, and that's the way I do it, and it seems to work. But you got to be able to keep up with this. My problem is I couldn't keep up with it. Now I got another blade where that more, of course, you have to have one of these for each blade. Then I got a flat top blade. You know, so I found them, but I don't know. It got missing. But now I'm gonna write on this what this one's for, and I'll put it right there, and I'm good to go. So there you have it. Got my Prairie Box. Be looking for that video. I made some dovetail marking tools. It's scheduled to come out Monday morning at 7 a.m. So this is Friday, so if y'all would be looking for that and check that out. If y'all cut dovetails, it just helps you in the process of laying them out, if you know what I mean. I know I made me an 8-to-1 and a 6-to-1, and usually it's all I use. Kind of depends on the length of the pins and the width, depending on which one I use, because they say 5 to 6 to 1 works for softwood. 7 and 8 to 1 works for hardwood. They're not here today, so the way I do, I make them look good. I want them appealing. I don't want them to look cheap, small, and frail, but I want them appealing, and the width of the pin versus the, it just, you find that combination that you like, and if you like it, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it's nice to have other people like it, but if it gets down to it, you need to be satisfied with it. So y'all be looking for that, and y'all have a good rest of the day, and have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you guys on the next one.